Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Snark Tank. We're two very not nice people, and we have been inundated with video games.
Many video games.
Yes, too many video games, in fact.
Spoiled for choice.
Would be one way of putting it. Another way of putting it would be being drowned in bad things. That's also a possibility. Steam has had some interesting changes as of late, as some of you are probably aware. They opened the floodgates to a lot of video games through their Steam Direct system, resulting in over 6,000 being released in 2017 alone. They also implemented a system by which developers can send their games straight to Steam curators, of which we happen to be the biggest one. That means we get a lot of video games, which sounds like a dream come true, right? That sounds incredible.
Christmas morning.
Christmas morning, every morning.
Day.
But the problem is, well, one, it's way too many video games, and two, some of these are really not very good. So we needed a way to sort through them. Try and find some interesting things in our list, and maybe the rest can be, I don't know, shuffled off to the side somewhere, thrown into the Snark Tank, drowned, eaten by piranhas, whatever we can arrange.
In a Shark Tank, you have piranhas.
Well, it's a Snark Tank. No, we can't say Shark Tank for legal reasons, so no, there's no...
The tank full of large predators with very sharp teeth.
Well, no, we couldn't afford those. I mean, they're really expensive, so...
Okay.
If we could find something... probably insects might be cheap, like fire ants. Fire ants, for instance, would be...
Fire ants.
Yeah, a lot of fire ants would probably be a good way of dealing with it.
So what's the first game on this magical list?
All I can say is we have literally hundreds of games on our curated list. Here's what we're going to do. Since everyone's been so kind to send their games through, we're going to give you a little chance to prove yourself. We're going to read the creator's pitch. They're able to send a little pitch along with their game code, and we'll have a quick look at their trailer and such, and we'll see whether or not this is the kind of thing that we would be interested in, or whether it would be something that we would politely decline is the name of the button on the Steam interface, for those who don't know. I don't know if we're going to be politely declining anything, but
I wonder
that's what it
how
says.
long that actually took, Valve in general to, come together and decide that was going to be the name of the button.
It didn't used to be called that.
Probably not.
They actually changed the name of that a few days after launching the system, but we got a lot to get through. So maybe we might find something in here that we might want to cover and do a video on in future. But most of them will be consigned to the Snark Tank. So without further ado, let's begin. The first one that we were ever sent on our list of over 400 games that we're going to be trying to work our way through, not in this episode, is High Hell. This is a game I've actually played, as it turns out.
Have you?
Yeah, I played High Hell at PAX. No, it wasn't PAX, it was TwitchCon. It's a Devolver Digital published game, and the little pitch is quite an impressive one. It's a neon-soaked arcade action first-person shooter from Terry Velman, who made Heavy Bullets, and Dose One, who was involved in Enter the Gungeon and Gang Beasts.
You liked Enter the Gungeon, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good. So was Gang Beasts, as it turns out. Descend upon the criminal underground with the most blessed of shotguns and bring lethal salvation to those who have fallen from the light. Righteous fury and fancy footwork are crucial to survive an escalating absurd series of outlandish missions. It's basically a speedrunning first-person shooter where you can't take a lot of hits. You have a kind of insta-gib, very accurate shotgun, and there's a lot of optional objectives to do. I was terrible at it. Horrendous, in fact.
When you look at these, just, quick sidebar since this is the first episode, are you really taken in by the wording? Are you taken in by the, hey, made by this, also by this? Because I do feel like a lot of people are taken in by that, but for me, I go straight to the visuals, like to the screenshots, to the trailer. Words, but proof's in the pudding.
I think the pedigree matters. I think the pedigree really matters. If it's someone who's made a good game before, then I'd definitely be more interested in it than some random guy. I don't think there's any question about that. The game itself, though, there were
not exactly my style.
I can't see you playing this one.
No. Aesthetically, no.
It's got a very interesting aesthetic, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting use of, I guess it's cel shady There's some nice little jokes in the trailer and things like that. But again, it's a kind of speedrunny. You've got to be really, really good at this, and you've got to practice this.
Hey, isn't that you? The devil on the...
You see, now Chris has got to sync the trailer properly, so no, don't make it harder for him than it already has to be.
I'm sorry.
So stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. Anyway, there's a lot of repetition in this kind of thing because it's demanding perfection. And I don't like that kind of thing, honestly. It's one gun. You only ever get to really use one gun.
Oh, that's kind of boring.
Well, that's what it's for. You know, it's an accurate kind of speed run sort of experience. It's not for me.
No.
It's not a bad game by any stretch. It's definitely not for me. Like, would I willingly play it? No, would be the answer to that. You know, I'd give it a square fin down on that one when it came to whether or not I would be interested in High Hell.
A fin down.
I'd give it a down fin. A down fin. You know, it's just not. It's not my thing. Not because it's bad, but because I don't like that sort of hyper repetitive, super accurate, speedrunny kind of game, which is what High Hell is.
There's far too many games that, I mean, I'm more of a narrative, story-driven type game playing person. I don't see doing the same thing over and over and over again fun too much anymore. I played too much Quake, I guess, so long ago that I was going to say
that had to have been quite a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it was. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I just don't find that to be where I'm at in playing games right now. So yeah, I would probably politely decline.
Polite fin down.
Polite fin down.
Yes. All right, moving on. The next game that we got sent was PATHOS. I imagine you're getting deluged with keys right now. Steam curation is up. Yes, we are. Thanks for that. Who are we? They're Brogue-like, apparently. A 3-man team out of Houston, Texas. PATHOS is their first title. We want to make a tough-as-nails, lovingly crafted puzzle game that fin down pretty much immediately for me, then.
Brogue-like already.
The name is good. The name of the company is good. I like that. What, you don't appreciate that?
I don't know, trying too hard, maybe.
Really?
Trying to reach a certain audience. I mean, maybe it works for some people. I don't know.
Oh dear, a narrative puzzle game. For me, that's an instant set of words that would immediately make me run for the hills.
Dozens of achievements.
Yes.
Global stat tracking. Oh, always making excuses.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at this. I can think of many excuses not to play it. You know, not that it looks bad by any stretch, but it's absolutely not my kind of thing in a million years.
Not mine either.
No,
actually,
no. That would be a solid fin down for me. I would politely send you out the door. I wouldn't put you in the fire ant pit for this one. I don't think you quite deserve that, because I'm sure there's a place in the market for it, but that place in the market is not on my PC, I'm afraid. Definitely not. Maybe it's yours, though. Maybe you've seen something on the screen that you found interesting today. In which case, by all means, go and have a look at it. But no, I will stay out of that one. Thank you very much. The next one is Age of Gladiators 2.
Did you play Age of Gladiators 1?
I don't think so. Well, the creator says to us, the curator, that's not going to be confusing or anything.
No.
Hi, I've sent you Age of Gladiators 2 for your potential curating consideration. You're really just making things difficult now. Age of Gladiators 2 is primarily a strategy and sports management sim
with light RPG elements integrated in as well.
Which sounds interesting. However, with Age of Gladiators 2, I decided to do something new with the genre, setting it in the distant sci-fi future rather than the Roman setting, which is what the first iteration presumably was.
So, gladiators in the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not the first time.
Not the first time we've
Not the first time that's been done, no. You know, it's a pretty interesting idea. So, yeah, you've got the sports management aspect of it and also the gladiator combat RPG-esque management aspect of it.
The UI looks a bit, I don't know, distorted. Do you feel like there's, it's, super clean and nice, and then you go to the actual, gameplay, and it's just, totally different. It's almost, two completely different people kind of did both
well,
sections?
I mean,
I don't know.
there's that dissonance between that is not in any way uncommon. Like, you know, the UI design. Well, yeah, UI design is really hard. Like to have
It is, yeah.
to have a art style and an art design that is conducive to the whole game and everything looks like it was supposed to be there. That's difficult to do, you know. And yeah, some of this UI is definitely messy, but it's very stat heavy. But having said that, this is actually my sort of game, and I like the idea of a sports management light RPG thing, but with future alien gladiators. That I would potentially try.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd have to get past this UI, which is...
It is a lot of information
it's a lot of text.
overload.
Yeah, a lot of numbers, a lot of text. I will definitely say that, but it is maybe something that I would look at. So...
Well, they've sent you, I believe, one copy.
Yeah, I may.
It's a good thing that it's probably not... I mean, I love, like, sim management games. You know, things like sports management simulators. I typically like those things, but... I don't know. Visually, this just doesn't really grab me too much.
Well, I mean, it's not visually impressive.
No.
There's no doubt about that. That's not an unfair criticism, but it's a sports management game. I'm not going in there for the visuals of all things.
No, all I'm saying is, you know, since they only sent us one copy, we won't have to fight Finns.
I don't think we're going to have to fight over who plays this one. No. So I will give it a tepid... fin up, as it were. I will maybe have a look at it if I get the chance, because it is... I like the theme, and I like the idea behind it, and if it's properly executed, then I can get past the sort of hideous UI and various other issues that it's got, so there you go. The next one that was sent our way is Rocket Blasters, which has an interesting aesthetic.
Cuphead 2.
No, oh no, it's cartoony, so in some way it's Cuphead now, yeah. Oh god, I would hate to be any such game at this
Lumped
point.
in with that, no.
Yeah, because they actually have an interest, they have a bit of information about why the game looks this way. So Rocket Blasters, simple yet action-packed space-themed shooter which features original hand-drawn artwork. Blow up asteroids, enemy spaceships, bosses, you get the idea, upgrades, etc., etc. It started as a series of ballpoint pen drawings on graph paper. During October, I produced 30 such drawings for hashtag Inktober.
Okay.
Is that I guess that's
guess that's a thing.
Art thing. I'm not familiar with it, but he then pulled out his scanner, put the stuff into Game Maker, and made the game in about 3 weeks, apparently. I mean, art-wise, yeah.
It's cute.
It's cute, yeah. It's cute, interesting aesthetic. Gameplay-wise, I couldn't...
not challenging.
Well, I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look at it. I couldn't care less. The only thing that is appealing about it is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I mean, the guy admits to having made it in 3 weeks.
Yeah. No,
and it costs $1. Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, at that price point, I think that's really cool.
Well,
I mean,
it's nice, but you know, it's not even about price. You know, it could cost a cent. It could be free.
No, I know.
I still probably wouldn't play it.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, the guy was doing something, you know, and just, you know, hey.
And just said, hey, let's make a game out of it.
This game happened.
Okay, which is neat. That's
happy
neat.
accidents, and you know, I wouldn't say totally like no to it.
I would. Well, you would play it?
I might just like idly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I certainly would not. You can have that copy if you wish.
I know. I appreciate like hand drawn kind of, you know, things. Like I played things like Don't Starve, which have the same kind of.
This is no Don't Starve. Come on.
No. I'm just saying like the same kind of art aesthetic. You know, more stylized, like drawn in type style.
It's not that the aesthetic's not in any way interesting enough to make me overlook that. No, I don't think so. You want to play it? You feel free. You take that copy. All right, the next one is a genre that I'm kind of like, but is frequently not very well done, and it's a vehicular combat racing game called Battle Riders, made by one person over the course of a few years, which is impressive in and of itself, but not relevant to you as the consumer. Very arcade-like and traditional take on the genre, full of action and excitement, he says. While it offers only a single-player experience, it takes some work to unlock the higher racing tiers, have access to higher speed events, bunch of different modes, exciting tracks they claim, collect power-ups and challenges, and all that kind of thing.
So how is this different from any other game that's like this, where there's cars and
combat racing, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. It doesn't. There really
It said
isn't.
unique, so I'm waiting.
Did it say unique?
I
Why did it
thought,
say that?
or did you put that in?
Why would I have added that?
I don't know. I thought you said possibly unique.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I did not-
Okay,
You're
unique
putting
cars.
words
no,
in
no,
my
no,
mouth.
No,
There
I
you
was
go.
reading in the description. Unique cars.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, there's different cars. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a very run-of-the-mill combat racing game. There are actually quite a few of these on Steam now. There used to be, quite some time ago, some really awesome combat racing games. You know, things like Wipeout.
Yeah.
It's a combat racing game. Mario Kart, to some extent,
Yeah, I was
is combat
just going to
racing.
say, it's like,
you know.
kind of rather be playing Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you would, but not on the PC. You're not going to get very far like that. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, all right, it looks functional for what it is, but there is nothing that stands out to me here.
That and
not a thing.
It's not multiplayer.
It not having multiplayer
which
is pretty
really strange for a game like this.
Well, it's not strange because it's made by one person.
No, I mean, I'm just saying as far as
that's hard. Multiplayer is hard to implement.
I get it. Yeah, I just even putting out the possibility for that.
No, again, it's very hard to do that. It's one dude, so I don't blame him. But I'm looking at it, I'm saying, like,
I think that might be the sticking point for some people, though, in a game
well,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. I mean, it's like I said at the start. It doesn't matter if it was made by one person. You, as the consumer, don't give a damn about that.
Right.
You know, if it doesn't have a feature you want, which multiplayer is a very valid feature, and there are games on Steam that do this, that have multiplayer, that you could be playing instead. Yeah, that's a bit of a deal breaker. I mean, it looks
and
okay.
I don't even really like multiplayer games, and this is me saying this.
Yep, you know, it looks pretty outdated, honestly. You know, it looks like it'd be at home on a PS2. It's pretty run-of-the-mill from what I could tell. I wouldn't waste my time with it. You know, it's cool that one person was able to come up with it, but that doesn't mean that I would spend my time playing
That's the hard thing going through some of this, I think, is that, you know, it literally is like one guy, you know, doing all of this work, and here we are basically just saying,
tough. You know, sent it in, that's how it goes. If
know.
you can't handle it, then don't send the key. Simple as that. No, fin down on that, I'm afraid. The next one, well, it's a nice short little pitch. It'll probably be a nice short little opinion as well. Inspired by Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, somehow.
That's not gonna get heavily scrutinized when you draw a comparison like that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Is it made in an RPG Maker?
It certainly looks like it. Rogue Port Blue Nightmare, an action-based adventure RPG, sequel to Rogue Port Red Nightmare, a turn-based adventure RPG. Please take the time to play and review. I'm looking at it and thinking I'm not going to be doing that, honestly. Obviously, it looks ancient. There's no question about that. I have a strong bias against games that look like this. Is that
because I like things like Stardew Valley, and
this is not Stardew Valley.
No, but
that has an art style. That has
I'm just saying, like,
that has a unique art style.
You could say it looks, you know, not so much ancient, but
it does look ancient. Stardew Valley doesn't. Stardew Valley has a nice pixel art style and its nice own. You know, you can look at it and you'll immediately say, "That's Stardew Valley." You know,
that's Harvest Moon.
This
what?
looks like nothing. I mean, it
looks like RPG Maker.
Yes, it does. It looks like it's a bunch of assets just ripped from RPG Maker, which it may or may not be.
Everything in RPG Maker is Zelda inspired, just in case you didn't know.
Or Final Fantasy inspired or things like that. You know, they've got the only thing that sort of it kind of had going for it to me is it sort of has some musical little mini game where you learn to play the bass guitar or something like that. But no, these are hobbyist games. You know, these were made to gain experience making games or for a very, very specific tiny little audience of which I am not a part of. You know, you make these games for yourself. You don't make them for a mass market or to be reviewed or critiqued by YouTubers. That's just not going to happen. No, it's not my thing at all, I'm afraid.
Aww.
Don't pull this.
Aww.
You're gonna be hopeless on this show if you
I know,
you feel sorry for everything that gets sent our way. We can't have that.
I know.
Okay, maybe you won't be so, or towards Agents of Aggro City Online.
What?
We would like to invite you to play and possibly review our game Agents of Aggro City Online, which is apparently a unique community browser-based strategy and RPG online adventure. Help your city reduce aggro levels by building your agency. Aggro levels? The city is tanking the monster, apparently. We need to reduce the aggro. I don't know. Defeat aggro-mites and researching new ways of keeping city aggro levels at a minimum.
If you say aggro one more time in your pitch,
could you?
This is what?
Can we research ways of reducing our aggro at reading this pitch?
Countless hours of playtime and fun.
I don't know what any of this means. If I go to the Steam page, I look at it and it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Be hate free. Oops.
No. Oh, yeah, it is one of those.
One of those.
Browser.
Well,
yeah, it is a browser.
It,
yeah,
right.
It's one of those browser-based kind of RPG things, which have been around for God knows how long. The problem is you can never get an impression of how they're supposed to play by looking at screenshots and trailers, because nothing moves, nothing happens. I don't know what any of this is.
You don't want to give any of it away.
No, it's so weird to see like a browser-based RPG put on Steam as well. That doesn't even make any sense. And you have to pay for this. This is a $10 game.
Oh.
It's a $10 game for what is basically a browser-based RPG of some sort. I do not understand.
Is this their first game?
I don't know.
Oh.
I wouldn't have. I don't think so.
I was gonna say if you click on their name on the lower
right-hand
side,
I don't
you can see.
Really care if it's their first game or not.
Okay.
Honestly, I just don't. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I wouldn't pay for a browser game like this.
No, I was just kind of curious as to like what previous development possibly prompted you to think that this is something that you would put out for $10 a pop. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I don't even again understand what the game is. You know, it's like one-time payment. Everything is earned in game. It's a browser game. There's like 1,000,001 of these things you can play for free on Facebook. For God's sake. No, absolutely not. 100% no.
It's okay because you could be king of the world.
Yes, king of the world. Right, here's a bit of a tip. When you're going to do a pitch, don't start with, we've recently added a single-player campaign to the game, because I don't know what your game even is to start with. So
like,
maybe tell me what it is.
Is it new?
Tell me what the game is. Well, I don't care about that either. Tell me what the game is first, before it's like, well, we recently added these features. But yeah, but what is it? What is it? If you're going to do a pitch, tell me what it is. Giving further content to the players to enjoy the campaign also allows for good first impressions of playthroughs. If you want to see how the first chapter plays out, I did a video showing it on YouTube here.
Well, that's great. You know what? You actually don't have to do a YouTube
video. Great, that means I don't have to make one. Cool.
The creator
They've done it themselves.
of the game has done it for you.
Sounds perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, Big Trouble's getting the word out. Yeah, it helps to tell me what it is. Like, if you want to get the word out, tell me what it is.
It's an early access game.
Yeah, it's basically, from what I can tell on the Steam page, the gameplay from Risk in a real-time strategy setting. Fight up to 12 players
Hey, look, it's the
against
fire
each
ant
other.
pit. That's where we threw all the games.
Indeed. While scheming, backstabbing, making shallow alliances are simply conquered to become the last man standing. I have a feeling you look at this and you certainly don't think Risk, but it looks like it might be an attempt to do a standalone version of the Risk mods that were there for Warcraft 3.
Yeah. And
for StarCraft as well. I think that might be what it is, but God, it doesn't look anywhere near finished. It's the
problem with early access games. Just gonna say it.
I mean, you really want someone to look at this now in this state? No, I'd wait. I'd definitely wait if I were you. No, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Actually, if there was a preference, this is just sidebar here. If there was a preference as a curator to decline already anything that's in early access, I would love that as an option.
I think there might be, but
Dear Valve, please
I haven't checked the preferences though.
Because that would be nice.
Possibly. Disputed Space. Okay, it's in space. That's good. That's always a good thing with me. That's a good way to get me interested. Experience epic space battles, they say, while piloting a small, fast fighter ship as part of a fleet that lashes out against enemy factions. That's a strange wording, isn't it? Across stunning, procedurally generated star systems in disputed space.
Yay.
Disputed Space is a fast-paced action arcade game that plays like Descent. Really? It plays like Descent? Certainly doesn't look like it from the screenshots, but let's have a little closer look at it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the screenshots actually look nothing like the trailer. Huh. Okay, now I'm getting it.
It looks kind of cool, though.
Trailer-wise, this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It definitely does look a little bit like Descent.
Lasers!
Yeah. Don't reference things in the trailer because then he has to show them in the screen. Don't do it.
I'm sorry, but their trailer is part of their pitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, the trailer does look pretty good, honestly.
I mean, some bits look a bit, wonky versus others, but
it's a $2 3D space shooter.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too bad. I don't know how much depth it's got. Like, is this the kind of thing that I would probably at least look at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It doesn't look too shabby to me at all, really. So, for $2.
For $2, you could have lasers.
Yes, apparently.
Very pretty lasers.
There's a
disputed space.
A distinct lack of lasers on Steam. Yeah, there's a real lack of them.
This is where we are when this is like the first game that we've actually sort of kind of agreed on that maybe we'd actually play that because lasers. Pretty light. That's what it takes.
It's a solid looking trailer, even though it had mixed reviews on the page. It's a decent looking trailer. I'd have a gander at it. At least because maybe there aren't all that many games at the moment that are currently doing this. So.
I don't know. How many games do we actually have in this curation queue? Is
There's
it like
probably
100?
Quite a few. 400.
400.
Get it right.
Okay, excellent.
100.
I was just trying to lowball it a little.
Yeah, lowballing is one way of putting it, yeah. Putrefaction 2 Voidwalker. I actually played the first one of this.
Did you?
Yeah, and
Did you like it?
No, it was not very good. It was a Unity-built first-person shooter that was using a lot of pre-made assets. I would hope that this uses more original assets.
Instead of Serious Sam reskinned? What?
It wasn't anything like that, because, of course, those assets weren't on then. It's an arcade first-person, which they misspelled, shooter in the style of Serious Sam and Doom. Yeah, I'm sure you would love us to have a look at it. I'm curious to look at it just to see if it's in a big improvement over the first one, because the first one was pretty bad. It was like, oh, this seems kind of competent until you realize that most of what was in the game was made by somebody else. It's what I don't know if you call it an asset flip now, but it was definitely a lot of I bought a bunch of assets from the Unity store and I made a game with it. A very, very basic FPS.
I'm not seeing
like
anything good.
No, because a lot of the stuff, like, look at this, like the thing is, if you look at the trailer for it, you can clearly see there's a lot of stuff that doesn't look like it belongs together, which is a classic symptom of I bought a bunch of Unity assets and threw a game together with it. That's what this game looks like again. Which is unfortunate.
It's like the aesthetic completely changes. Like your top level does not match your bottom level at all.
Yeah, I mean, there was a scene where the guy was fighting centaurs, and then he was fighting regular military guys. Like the weapon set doesn't match up at all. Yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like another I bought a bunch of Unity assets and threw together a simple FPS, which I'm afraid is not good enough for me. Thank you very much. No.
Thin down.
Yes, very much thin down on that one. Oh, look, it's another tribute to Legend of Zelda, apparently.
Oh, wow, we're getting...
This one's called Shotgun Legend. A tribute to Legend of Zelda with a shotgun. I've been working on this game for 2 years now, and it's leaving early access on January 15th. It is in a style resembling an early SNES title. Oh, God, please, no.
Keep it together.
It's not, it won't. I'll look at it.
No, you have to look at it.
No, it'll look like it was on a Commodore 64. It'll look like it was on an Atari 2600. It won't look like a SNES. No, it won't.
No.
I guarantee it. As soon as I go to this, I guarantee it will not look like that. The game has had an extremely positive reception from almost everyone that plays it, but it's having trouble gaining traction.
How many people have played it?
That's a great question. It has actually had a decent number of user reviews compared to a lot of the games we've looked at today. I mean, it's had 71 user reviews, and they are actually very positive.
Are all the person who made the game, like re-registering over?
You can't do that.
You can't do that?
Okay. I don't think you can really do that. This does not look like a SNES game at all. But I'm definitely...
It is more homage to Zelda than the previous.
Than the other one.
For sure, for sure.
You're totally right. Yeah, then he is clearly trying to do that. It looks like... Call it what it is. It looks like an NES game, not a SNES game.
I totally agree.
Yeah, but it is basically the guy seems to have made Zelda with a shotgun. Which
hey, sometimes you want to play Zelda with a shotgun.
Well, apparently some people do because it's got a reasonable number of good reviews for that. I don't want to play Zelda with a shotgun in a million years. Do you?
I mean, I could think of better ways to use my time, perhaps, but maybe.
Maybe? You think maybe you'd give that?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to rule it out because it actually looks like it's trying to be a little more faithful, I guess. There look like there was some actual effort.
Yeah, and I am curious about that number of positive reviews.
Right, and that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't want to let that be an influencing factor, but when you...
Well, it should be. Unless they're fake, having that many people say... Hey, actually, this is worth... Bear in mind, this is a $5 game.
No, I know, but...
people actually paid for this and liked it.
Right. No, all I'm saying is that because this is a curation, Snark tank situation, in most cases, I would like to think that you are probably going to be the tastemaker, the person who probably gets these games before most people. So you're not always going to be looking... you won't always have like, oh, hey, this game has tons of reviews and all of this positive
I certainly
feedback.
won't be the tastemaker for this because I won't be playing it.
No.
But if other people have and said it was okay, I'd consider that.
All I'm saying is that I don't know how much into account we can really take that because some games we probably aren't going to be seeing that many numbers there because it is submitted to curators first in some cases.
I mean, in this case, this is the most I think positive reviews of anything we've looked at up to this point of any of these games. So, all right, well, you get to have a look at Shotgun Legend then.
Haha!
I mean, I wouldn't touch it anyway because it's not my style of game. Early Legend of Zelda stuff, early NES style stuff, I just don't go anywhere near it anyway. But surprisingly enough, it does look like there might be something there. Rather than what you would expect from this, which would be complete and total waste of everybody's time. Unlike
previous RPG Maker games.
I don't think this was not made in RPG Maker.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, anything that says inspired by Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, that is usually a red flag.
I'm always thinking, oh no, please no. But no, this one actually looks interesting.
All right. Okay, well, we've spent about 30 minutes and we got through very little. We're gonna have to blast through these way faster in future episodes, otherwise we are never gonna get through this. I think we're being far too generous to most of these games. We gave them far too much time.
I think we have to set the precedent, though. We have to kind of explain our position, like why, when you have a look at it and judge a book by its cover, that it's not really worth the time. Right.
Because honestly, you have to judge by its cover to some extent. This is like looking at something on a shelf. If something doesn't immediately grab you, you're gonna walk right past it.
This is marketing 101.
Yes, it is.
If you are a one-person developer making your game, that's you are gonna have to sell it.
No, hell, I've seen far larger studios fail on that front.
Same.
Yeah.
And we will no doubt see them offered up here as well.
Run into plenty of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a couple of things in there that might be a little bit interesting. Like I say, I think of everything that's in there, the biggest chance of me playing any of them...
the Gladiator game for you?
...is probably the Gladiator game.
Or the shooter, the space shooter.
Yeah, it's most likely the Gladiator game just because of the unique... what's the word I'm looking for? The unique conceit. The interesting idea behind it. That's the most likely. Everything else I probably wouldn't touch.
I was gonna say, for me, it probably would be the last one that we looked at, the
Shotgun Legend. You're actually gonna look at that. Well, if you do actually sit down and play that, I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on it. Let me put it that way. Well, by the time we come back next time, we'll be drowning in even more of them. We got through like about 10, and we've got over 400. Bloody hell.
Next episodes, I'm sure, will be much faster. It's just...
I hope so. We'll see. I will see, but geez. This is the life of a Steam curator, apparently.
And you wonder why we are 400 and some odd games deep.
And this is only the games they sent us.
Yeah. And they expire within 30 days of offering.
Yes. For a lot of those, I'm going to be glad of that. My name's been TotalBiscuit, joined, of course, by Jen here in the Snark tank. There'll be plenty more games offered up to the altar at some point in the not-too-distant future, no doubt. Go and check out our curator page for good games. We have quite a lot of those over on our Cynical Brit Gaming curation page. And I will see you next time, assuming you show up next time and actually want to do the show again. We might.
What? Are you going to drown me or something? What's happening?
You're going in the fire ant pit, if you know.
Why am I going in the fire ant pit?
Well, someone's going to test it out.